Hi VC, back again with another Gimme 10 from 87. 1987, what a year for music, it really was. It was just an incredible year. Um, I mean, this 10, there's so many albums that could have and maybe should have been in my top 10, my main 10, but 10's 10, you have to choose 10. And so, well, anyway, I get it. I'm cheating, I get to choose 40, so there we go. Anyway, first off, probably the most extreme record that I bought in 87 or subsequently. It is this one, Napalm Death, from, sorry, not that one, it's Scum, with Lee Dorian on vocals, later of Cathedral, Bill Steer from Carcass, Justin Harris, pretty sure it's Justin, oh dear, who was from Godflesh and all kinds of things, I think. Just extreme metal. I mean, they weren't the first grindcore band, but they were the ones that probably popularised it the most. It's metal meeting crass attitude punk, and it is just a phenomenal record. Got the shortest song when it was made into a single. The shortest, they hold the Guinness World Record for the shortest song, which is on here, rather the shortest single, get it right, which is on here, called You Suffer, which I think is 1.3 seconds long. But so socially aware, totally anti-corporation, just so good. Now, from a band whose our first album was probably one of the most extreme of 1985, but they toned down all the feedback on this. And this is Darklands by the Mary Chain. This is such a gorgeous record. Totally taken away the feedback, took an about turn, totally flummoxed everybody at the time. Got some rocking tracks on there like April Skies and Happy When It Rains, but it's got some gorgeous songs like Darklands, which was later covered by Primal Scream on a single. 9 Million Rainy Days, perfect song for about a teenage angst. Just a great album, really great album. This one had to be an 87 on any 87 list. I'm just so gutted that I couldn't include it in the 10. Anthrax, Among the Living. This has been on VC quite a lot, especially among the metalheads on the VC. And rightly so. It is a stunning album. I saw them just before this came out when they supported Metallica. Just from start to finish, it's a phenomenal record. It doesn't let up. It is metal motion madness. It really is. It's just brilliant. Another fantastic record from 87 is Music for the Masses by Depeche. This has been shown by a few people. Just things like You Never Let Me Down Again, which I think is a brilliant song. Strange Love, Little 15, Behind the Wheel. Pimp, I think Fred said, was a fantastic track, and it is. He's dead right. Absolutely fantastic there. I talked about this at length in my Julian Cope video, St. Julian. I'm not going to say too much about it, but it is one of the albums of the year. Great rocking album. The next one, one of my favourite bands of the 80s probably, it is by the Eurythmics, and it's Savage. On the previous two albums to this, I think they're what they called Be Yourself Tonight and Revenge. They'd kind of gone a bit too mainstream. I've still got them because I just loved them, and they still had the odd good track, but it was a bit not quite the same as the early 80s stuff. But this was not as successful, but I just thought this was fantastic. It's much more, well, not experimental, but it's less mainstream pop. And you've got things like Beethoven, I love to listen to. You Have Placed a Chill in My Heart, which I love. It's got things like I Need a Man. what else? Shame's song. It's just a really good pop album. And it had Annie Lennox playing with her image again, which she hadn't really done for a few years. It was all a bit... Oh, I've got a poster. I forgot I had a poster with that. Anyway, I'm not going to bother with that. Fantastic record. Really rate this. Couple of goth records next. I suppose I'll start with the Masters of Goth. It was the Sisters' second full album, Floodland. This is when they went... Well, me and my mates called this disco goth, because it wasn't like First and Last and Always. This was disco goth. I mean, you had this Corrosion and things like Dominion, Lucretia. They were danceable. Well, danceable in an easy danceable way, not just throwing your arms about like mad, wildly. But then it's also got some gorgeous songs like 1959 and Driven Like the Snow. Flood is good as well. Both versions of Flood on there is great as well. Excellent album. And then this time he was with Patricia Morrison, just the two together with other musicians. And she received a lot of vitriol from goth fans. I thought, well, it was ridiculous. She was a goth icon, if anything. And then the other goth record from '87 is this one, Fields of the Nephilim debut album, Dawn Razor. And this kind of, yeah, they got sort of tagged with the name of like Wannabe Sisters. But the music itself is really powerful. They kind of brought a lot more of Morricone stuff, so they kind of spaghetti goth, I suppose would be an apt genre, would it be? I don't know. Making that up off the top of my head. But things like Slow Kill, Volcane. I mean, I know why I'm saying spaghetti goth, because they incorporate bits of Morricone's music into theirs. Dawn Razor, Reanimator. It's good goth rocking stuff. Probably the rock album of the year is, of course, Joshua Tree. It was their most successful album. It's not my favourite, but when you've got tracks as strong as... First three tracks are Where the Streets Have No Name, I still haven't found what I'm looking for, and With or Without You. And then you've got Bullet the Blue Sky and Running to Stand Still. I mean, what a tremendous first side of a record. And then you've got things like Red Hill Mining Town, In God's Country, Trip Through Your Wires, One Tree Hill, Exit, Mothers Have Disappeared. I mean, this was where mainstream rock was at in '87, and it was superb. Just totally ruled the roost then, and it was brilliant. And my final choice from '87, already showed this band in my main 10 with their last studio album, but this was the first, well, okay, not counting Hatful of Hollow, this was the first Smiths compilation, and it included a lot of singles tracks, singles that weren't on albums, and just favourite tracks. So you've got things like Panic and Ask and London that were all on singles. Shakespeare's Sister was an album only single. Shoplifters of the World Unite was another one. Asleep, which is just so heartbreakingly sad. Unlovable, Half a Person, Stretch Out and Wait, Oscillate Wildly, You Just Haven't Earned It Yet, Baby, and Rubber Ring. And then you've got singles that were on albums like Big Mouth, Boy with a Thorn in His Side, That Joke, and There Is a Light That Never Goes Out, which even then was obviously like being picked as a standout track from Strange Ways. So there you go. That is my second 10 from '87. I mean, those 10 would be a main pick Gimme 10. Those alone. So that's 20 brilliant records from '87. Maybe the last two selections aren't quite as strong, but they're still, to me, they're strong. So I'm going to record that now and upload it later. Right, so thanks for watching VC, and I will see you very soon. Bye, VC.